Hello everyone, greetings from the world of technical cloud knowledge, and this is Shikha with another lecture on Linux. So our discussion of Linux time management will be continued today with the part 2. So this is the lecture number 10. So what we will gonna talk about today, let me discuss this first. Okay, so we will gonna talk about the two commands which I haven't been discussed on my previous lecture. So these two commands are, first one is TIMEDATECTL as well as the second one is HWCLOCK command. So we will gonna discuss these two commands today. Okay, so let's begin the lecture. So let me tell you one more thing. To avoid missing any necessary point regarding the Linux time management, you need to watch my video till the end. Okay, so let's begin the lecture. So let me write it there as well. What are the commands we will gonna talk about today? So first one is the TIMEDATECTL command, and the second one is the HWCLOCK command. Okay, so these two commands we will gonna talk about. And let me tell you that these two commands are the very useful commands in Linux to adjust date and time. Okay. So first let's talk about the TIMEDATECTL command. What does it refer and why do we use TIMEDATECTL command in Linux? Basically, this command is used to set date, time and time zone of your system clock. Okay, it will also use to check and control the date and time on Linux. So this is the basic use of TIMEDATECTL command. And whereas if I talk about the HWCLOCK command, why does it use? Basically, this will use to check and set the date and time of your hardware clock. It will also work even when you shut down your system. Okay, so the basic use of HWCLOCK is also, it will store the time, it will store the values, even it is hours, days, minutes, seconds, years, months, etc. It will store the time. So these are the basic use of these two commands. So let me write it there as well for the better understanding. So what does TIMEDATECTL do? It will set the time, date and time zone of your system clock. Okay, whereas the HWCLOCK will set time and date of your hardware clock. Okay, so these two are the basic use of these two commands. Okay, so let's now we will understand it in a better way through the practical. So for that we need to go to the VMware workstation, and here we need to open the terminal. So let's open the terminal, make it zoom. Okay. Okay. So first we will gonna run the pwd command to check where we are sitting right now. So our current working directory is root directory, which is our home directory. From there, we will gonna run the command TIMEDATECTL command. So as you can see, it is showing such kind of interface to us. Local time, our current local time of our system clock, universal time, RTC time, which is known as real time clock. And yeah, hardware clock is also known as real time clock. So that's why it is showing RTC time, which is our hardware clock time. And time zone. So what is the time zone of our system clock right now? So it is showing the America time zone. But if I want to change it into the IST time zone, which is Indian Standard Time, so what kind of command would I run for that? Let me tell you. So as you can see, system clock is already synced with the hardware clock. No, it hasn't been synced. Okay, so NTP service inactive, RTC in local. Okay, so first what we will gonna do, we will gonna list that time zone to set the time zone according to ourselves. Okay, first let's list the time zone. If we want to change the time zone, list time zones. Okay, so here are all the time zones according to the different countries. Okay, but we want only Asia's time zone. So for that we will only run the command for the Asia. As you can see, all these refers to the different countries Asia's time zone. Okay, so let's run the specific command for that specific zone. TIMEDATECTL, set time zone Asia, Kolkata. Okay. So now if we would run the TIMEDATECL command, we will able to set the time zone according to ourselves. So now it is showing the IST time, which is Indian Standard Time, our local time. So now if I want to set the time through the TIMEDATECL command, what kind of command would I run for that? For that, we will gonna run the command TIMEDATECL set hyphen time, and then you need to write the time. Suppose it should be this. Okay, now you will gonna run the TIMEDATECL command. So that's how it will show the time to us. Okay, that's how we will set time. There is a difference in seconds because I have written down the seconds on my own. That's why there is a difference in seconds. But all the time has been, we can set like how. Suppose sometimes what happen when we do so, like when we set the time according to ourselves, it will show that the NTP server is active and we will fail to set the time. Let me show you what happens. Basically, suppose you don't have to like see this command. You don't have to know this command right now because it will be come into the networking when I will tell you about the NTP server. I will gonna talk about this command as well. You just have to understand right now that how we can set time and what happens if the NTP server is active. So for that you need to run the command time systemctl start cronny. We are easily able to set the time because the NTP server is inactive. But if it is active, so we can't do it easily. We have to run the command for that first, the command which I'm running right now. So now if we do so, we will set the time. So it will show us this interface. Suppose I'm setting the time right now. Okay. So what is showing? Fail to set time, NTP and unit is active. When the NTP server is active, it will not able to set the time according to ourselves. But when it is inactive, we can easily able to set the time, as you can see. Okay. So that's how it happens. So for that, you need to run the command systemctl stop cronny d dot service. Okay. Then you will able to set the time according to yourself. Now run. So that's how you are easily able to set time when you run this command systemctl stop quantity service, and after then you have to again start it. Okay, when you do it will show that the NTP server is active. Okay, now it is showing that it is inactive. That's why we will able to set the time. So for that you need to run this command making it again active. Okay, wait a minute. CTL start okay. So that's how we'll do so. So this is the basic use of TIMEDATECL command. If you want to know more about TIMEDATECL command, just run the command TIMEDATECL -help. So you will be able to use like how you can use the command, what is the main options and mandatory arguments for that TIMEDATECL command. You will able to know that by running the command TIMEDATECL -help. And if you want to know in more depth, then you have to run man TIMEDATECL. Okay. Okay, so that's how you will able to run in depth of TIMEDATECL command. Okay, so let's come to the interface now. as we are able to understand the TIMEDATECTL command in depth by using the practical also. Now we will gonna move to the HWCLOCK command. Okay, how we can set time and date and how we can check the date and time of our hardware clock. So go to the workstation again, and from there you need to run the command HWCLOCK command. So as you can see, this is your current local time of your hardware clock. Okay. So if you want to show, if you want to check the hardware clock time by using another different option, you can run -r as well for that. Wait. HWCLOCK -r. Okay. So still you will be able to check the local date and time of your hardware clock by using this option as well. And there is another option to check the date and time of your hardware clock. For that you need to run the command hwclock -show. Okay, so yeah, this would be, that's how you will see the date and time of your hardware clock. Now if you want to set the date and time, like if you want to copy the hardware time with the system clock time with the hardware clock time, for that you need to run the command hwclock -s. Okay, -s. Now run date command, then hwclock command. See, both the times will be same, but there is only the difference between the seconds, rather than all the time with of both the clocks would be same. That's how. Okay, so that's how we'll do. So that's how we'll run the HW clock, by checking and setting the date and time of your hardware clock. Okay, you can run as this as well if you want to set the date of HW clock. Just run first date command, then you have to run HW clock, then -set, then -date, and under the inverted commas you need to write the date. Just copy this. Okay, just copy this, and under the inverted commas just paste it. So that's how you will able to set the date of your HW clock as well. Okay, so yeah, that's how you will do so. Okay, so this is the basic use of HW clock. Now if you want to know more about HW clock, for that you need to run HW clock -help. Okay, you will be able to set date and time. That's how you will do so. And if you want to know more in depth, then just run man HW clock. So yeah, that's how you will able to use the command. So let's come to the interface. So basically this is the lecture. Let's wrap up the lecture here of our Linux series. So we will again meet soon with the another lecture on Linux and to know more about Linux. So till then, need to watch, you stay connected with us, Technical Cloud Knowledge, and with Shekha as well, to for more updates and information on Linux. So that's it for today.